Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review, and today we're taking a look at the new DC Collectibles Batman Arkham City Sickle and the Penguin action figure 2-pack. Like the Harley Quinn and Mr. Hammer 2-pack that we took a look at the other day, this set comes in a standard DC Collectibles window box type packaging. We have the same kind of white and black highlights that we had in that previous 2-pack. At the top we see the Batman Arkham City logo, and then down in the bottom right corner we see the Batman Arkham City logo again, along with the name of the figures. Then on the one side we see close-up shots of the Penguin and Sickle figure, and then on the other side there's a picture of the figures again, along with the name of the sculptor, and both of these figures were sculpted by Phil Ramirez. Then on the back we have thumbnail images showing off the two figures in the set, along with a brief bio about them in the video game, and then underneath that we have images of the other two Batman Arkham City 2-packs that have been recently released, the Batman vs. Bane set, which we've reviewed already, and the Mr. Hammer and Harley Quinn set, which we reviewed the other day. So let's get these open and take a look at the figures inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside of the packaging. Like with the two previous Batman Arkham City 2-packs, this set basically contains one figure that has been previously released on single card, in this case the Penguin figure, and then a new figure. And as I mentioned in the previous 2-pack reviews, I'm not a huge fan of this trend of making people have to buy a figure that there's a good chance they probably already have in order to get a figure that they don't have. Now, if you don't already have the Penguin figure, then it's not an issue. But again, as I pointed out before, if you've been collecting the Batman Arkham City series, which you probably have if you're picking up this set, then you probably already have the Penguin. So just, it's kind of a pain that you have to buy essentially the same figure. And I don't have the single carded Penguin, so I don't have the two figures to compare, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty much exactly the same, except for maybe some minor paint application differences, similar to the Harley Quinn figure in the Mr. Hammer and Harley Quinn set. So real quick, we'll take a look at the Penguin figure. Now I do say I do actually like this figure for the most part. I like the detailing, I like the accessories, I like that this figure actually came with its accessories. Like the Harley Quinn figure in the last 2-pack came with no accessories, even though I believe she did come with like a bat or something on the single carded version. Well, with the Penguin we do get accessories. He has this removable hat, which is made with a soft kind of rubber material and fits on his head. You got to kind of squeeze it on there to get it to stay, but once you get it on, it does stay on pretty good. He also comes with this little cigar, which is kind of cool. I don't know how well you'll see it on camera, and it fits in his left hand, and you kind of have to jimmy it between his fingers. Now, unfortunately, it does not fit in his mouth, so you can't get him to actually smoke the cigar. But he will hold it in this left hand. He won't hold it in the right hand because that hand is sculpted too far open. But they sculpted the fingers close enough together on this hand so that he will hold it on that one. And then he comes with his traditional umbrella, closed in this case. And it's got a penguin handle with some nice detailing, little red eyes, kind of a gold beak, which is nice. And then on the bottom here, it's like he's got like a little spike with blood on it, which is a nice detail. So I like the accessories with this figure for the most part. I do kind of wish that he could put the cigar in his mouth, but other than that, I do really like him. He's got some nice detailing. He's got the eyeglass in the one eye. He's got looks like red, almost blood around the eye, where the eyeglass is on there, and then he's got this thing on his throat. Looks like maybe to help him talk. Haven't played the game that much, so I'm not that familiar with what the character's like in the video game, but this looks like there's some kind of thing on his throat so he can breathe or talk, and there's blood around it. on the figure, so nice detail there. And then he's got some nice sculpting on the coat with the fur and stuff around the collar and the wrists, and then he's got some nice detailing on his vest jacket, which I like, and he's got like a white scarf, and he's got a good, I like the facial expression, it's very penguin-like, so I think they did a good job with the head sculpt there. And then on the back he's got some more detailing on his coat. And the coat is made with a soft rubber material, but it's not removable. And then he's got his pants and traditional kind of penguin type shoes. So again, I like this figure. Now, it isn't very heavy on articulation. Penguin is a shorter character, so you know he has no real leg articulation at all. So we'll just go over what he has real quick. He can look left and right without any issue. No problem there. Hinge ball joints for the arms, and he's got good rotation there, good movement with the arms. He has no elbow joints though, which kind of sucks. And he's got swivels at the wrists. No midsection articulation at all, and no leg articulation. So he's other than his arms and his head, you know, he's basically a pretty static figure. But because he's a smaller figure, it actually kind of works because he stands really well. He's a good solid figure and he stands pretty well. And it's not like the Penguin's doing a lot of acrobatic moves or anything anyway. So even though it would have been nice if maybe we had a few extra points of articulation like in the elbows, maybe knees even, but it's not, it doesn't totally detract from this particular figure just because the way of the character is and everything. And he's sturdy, you know, unlike the Harley Quinn figure in the last set, which was very delicate. This figure is pretty solid and sturdy. Okay, so let's take a look at the figure that you're probably buying this set for, and that's Sickle. I always want to call him Mr. Sickle, because since Mr. Hammer, Mr. Sickle seems appropriate, but he's actually just named Sickle on the packaging. Like with Mr. Hammer, he's got a lot of nice detailing with tattoos and everything on his body and scars and such that he's obtained over the years. He comes with a sickle accessory, which has some nice detailing, nice work on the blade, sculpting on the blade to give it texture, and then like the wraps on the handle, which is nice. Now, I will say, obviously, like the other figure, like Mr. Hammer, this figure only comes with one arm. And I will say that you have to kind of wedge the sickle in there just right. He doesn't grip it super great because his hands are kind of sculpted open, so you got to be careful. He will hold it, but you got to get it like kind of wedged in between his thumb and his fingers if you want him to really hold it solid. But once you get it in there, for the most part, it does hold pretty well. Now again, I really like the detailing on these figures. I like all the tattoo work. It's not quite as detailed as Mr. Hammer, especially on the chest. It looks like he's got some bat wings, or maybe those are crow heads or something on his chest. And he's got a star, a Russian star maybe. And he's got some lettering and some skulls on his one arm. Just nice. And then some more. The best tattoo work on this one is on his back. He's got like a skull with a star and a circle around it. So that's pretty cool. And then he's got his head, you know, he's got kind of like, you can see where his hair's been shaved off. So I like the paint texturing on the head to give it that look of like a shaved head. And then he's got scars on his head, stitched up scars on his head, which looks cool. And then he's just got a really mean looking expression on his face. And then he's got another scar over here on his shoulder. And then like with Mr. Hammer, where he's basically had his arm cut off, you can see the stitch work where they stitched up the arm there. And then for his pants, he's got camouflage pants on. And then he's got the wraps around his feet like Mr. Hammer, and he's got really dirty toes, which is nice detail. Like Mr. Hammer, this is a taller character. He's a bigger scale figure than the regular figures in the line. Definitely taller than the Penguin, which is a shorter figure than the regular figures in the line. He stands about 8 inches tall, essentially the same height as Mr. Hammer, so they're definitely in scale with one another. And then he's a bit taller than Batman, which is accurate to the video game and everything. Articulation wise, you're basically looking at the same type of articulation that Mr. Hammer has. His head looks left and right and has a little up and down tilt to it, but not anything major. His one arm is on a hinge ball joint, so he's got decent movement, rotation there. He's got a swivel bicep, which is nice. And then he's got a single hinged elbow. But again, kind of like with Mr. Hammer, because he's got such big muscles sculpted on his arm, he can only bend his arm kind of halfway. And then he's got the swivel at the wrist, but no hinges or anything at the wrist. Then for the midsection, no type of ab crunch or anything, but he does have the swivel at the waist. And then he's got the legs, the ball jointed legs instead of the standard T-crotch that we usually see with DC Collectibles figures. So he can do partial splits. And then you can get his leg up forward. Not too far back, it tends to go outwards when you try and push it back. And then he's got the swivel at just under the knee. And then he's got a single hinge knee joint, so you can get partial bent at the knee. But again, the way the pants are sculpted and everything, they've hidden the joint with the pants and everything, but he only can partially bend his knee. And then he's got the swivel at the boot cut. No ankle articulation. So again, basically exactly the same kind of articulation as Mr. Hammer. So that's my review. Overall, I like this set. In fact, as an overall set, I like this set better than the Mr. Hammer and Harley Quinn figure. I kind of like the Mr. Hammer figure a little bit better just because I like the detailing on it and the tattoo work and everything a little bit nicer than on Sickle here. But as a set, because I like this Penguin figure better than I like the Harley Quinn figure, I like this set better than that one. But still, it's a decent set. Both are decent sets to, especially if you're looking to get the two goons. As I understand it, these guys are like brothers or something like that, or were partners, but they had a disagreement, and so one of them stayed with the Joker and Harley Quinn, while the other one went off and started working for the Penguin. Of course, all of them want to kill Batman, essentially, in the video game. But again, Miss Sickle here makes a nice addition to your Batman Rogue Gallery, and it's just another cool figure for your Batman figure to fight. So if you're into the Arkham City figures and everything, then I would suggest you probably pick this one up. Again, it kind of sucks if you already have Penguin that you got to buy another Penguin figure to get Sickle, but I do think Sickle is a good figure and worth getting. So that's my review. I hope you enjoy it. Until next time, I'll check you later.